What we do here is go back.
And you're live on Dead Radio.
Welcome to another very special episode of Dead Radio with your boy Ini, and once again we have a very special guest in the building, reporting live from 138 SMUTS, the Dead Store. We're gonna get into our guest's journey, life story, extract jewels for you guys to use in your everyday lives, and yeah, so without further ado.
Hey, my name is Enhle. I am a content creator, sometimes stylist. I do model quite a bit. So yeah, that's me, all around creative, I'd say.
I love that. How do you feel right now?
I feel fantastic.
Okay.
I feel great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Like,
Yeah,
the rest of the Dead Radio guests, they don't care about
It's
my
rude
mental
not to
health.
ask, ne?
dog. It's like, nigga, what if I'm spiraling out of control?
It's good to know.
How do I start this? I think to predict the future, right, we have to look into the past, right? And to know who Enhle is today, we have to start the book from page one.
Page one.
So tell me about Enhle as a young girl. Where did you grow up? Were you an extrovert? Were you an introvert? Yeah, tell me about the young Enhle.
The young Enhle. Okay, I was born and raised in Vaal, Spooking to be exact. I'd say growing up I was more extroverted than I am now. I don't know why, because I feel like as you grow older, I guess you are more self-aware and you tend to maybe grow into yourself based on maybe people's perceptions or whatnot. But I remember being a kid who was very bubbly, like Jaiva. That was me. I'll dance. I was still into like style, because I remember I'd tell my mom, I don't want to wear this. Please, can I wear this? Not the McDonald's one, please. Like, I already knew.
Not the McDonald's
Yeah,
one.
and I already
It's
knew
crazy.
what I wanted to look like or what I wanted to wear. So I've always been into it. I guess maybe over the years it was kind of honed into something, but it's always been there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the most important question I'm gonna ask you today
Yeah.
is, it's the age-old question. Are you born with style, or can you learn style?
I'd say both.
Both.
Yeah.
Were you born with style?
I'd
Is
say
it
so.
in your lineage? Like, is
I'd
your
say so.
mom stylish? Is your dad stylish?
Yeah, for sure. Like my
Okay.
moms and my dads, they like things as well. Obviously, they don't dress like me. This
Of
is my
course
own
not.
style, but they have their own individual style. And then when I see my mom, sometimes I'm like, yo, girl,
You got
look
that
good.
shit
No,
on.
she does. She do be having that shit on.
I hear
Also, my gran also is very fly. Surprisingly, my gran still thrifts till today.
Oh, shout
So
out.
she's into like style. So it's always been a thing. I think it's mainly your environment. You know, just watching my parents, or it kind of just maybe then fine tune it into your own style. I remember also my aunt back in the day. I thought she was so fly growing up. She was like a sneakerhead. So I think that's where that started from, and just watching her just do her thing. She was so fly. I can't even put into words. I remember this specifically. I think it was in 2002, and she was doing matric then. I was still young. And into her matric dance, she wore like a boob tube top with like some little shorts, like a trench coat. For me, it was so iconic because you know, like matric dance, supposed to wear like a dress and
A
whatnot,
gown.
you know. And she had like short blonde hair. I just thought, okay, this lady, she's
fly.
I know she's onto something for sure. So I think
Okay.
it is both. You are kind of born with it, but at the same time, you can actually just maybe learn it over the years and just learn what works for you and what doesn't, and then just get better with time, I guess.
Yeah, because I had to ask you that because a lot of people who are quote unquote stylish
Yeah.
always say, you're born with style. You can't learn style. And for me, it's like, I just don't believe that. Like, it's a very elitist way of keeping people out and being like,
Gatekeeping.
that gatekeeping style. And how can you gatekeep style,
Nah.
dog, and taste?
Well, yeah, yes and no, like I said. I just feel like looking back at some of the things that I used to wear back in the day, I'm just like, what was I thinking? But at the time, I just felt like, oh my gosh, this is it. But I guess like you tend to maybe grow into it and see what works, what doesn't. Because when you look back, you're always like, this is not the one. We all have those, like I must say, even if you're born with it, there are some looks you just like, it's not hitting the way it should. So I think you can always maybe make it better, just learn more, and now we're more exposed to certain things, the internet, what have you. But yeah, I guess a bit of both for me in my experience.
Okay. And you spoke about your aunt inspiring your love for sneakers.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the first sneaker you purchased and was like, I love this sneaker? Do you even remember?
I do, like with my money.
Yeah.
The very first pair of shoes, I bought the Footscape. Yeah, the Nike. And I was just like, I was so proud of myself. Because everything maybe before that I had sneakers prior to that, but I feel like that's when I actually figured out what kind of sneakers do I like, what kind of look. And obviously now it's with my own money, I felt so proud. But that was that was my first pair.
Dope.
Yeah, I remember. I still have them.
Dope.
Still in great condition. Maybe this has been 6-7 years, however.
Oh, you're a real sneakerhead. Because real sneakerheads actually, they're collectors.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, I'd say so. But in the recent past, I haven't been on my A.
Okay.
If I'm being honest, I think maybe also it's just like cooler. Then you start to add heels to your
to the
thing.
rotation.
But there was a time when I'd wear sneakers strictly.
And were you a tomboy? Because I've never met. Let me choose my words correctly.
Okay.
I've never met a female who loves sneakers and wasn't a tomboy at all.
I don't think I was a tomboy. I think
Interesting.
it's just
Interesting.
maybe environment. That was the thing at that time. I was. When was I in primary school, for example? 2006. You know, at that time, I think style was like either you're dressing waparadi kavela or whatnot, and then there's other people on the other side where I grew up, maybe with skater friends. We used to wear the DC. That was like the in
The
thing.
big ones.
Yes.
Crazy.
But like the girly ones with the pink and the whatnot, but like that was where the sneaker thing started. And as time progressed, then maybe I started getting to Nike and whatever other brands
Everything
there are.
else.
But I wouldn't say I was a tomboy. I just knew what I wanted to look like. I did not like to be too girly, nor did I want to be super tom, like baggy. I don't know.
You knew what you liked, and
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah, you could be wearing a dress, but with sneakers,
Sneakers,
you know,
I get
it's
you.
still a thing. I just feel like for me, that's just my preference. I didn't like sandals, still don't. I didn't like, what else were people wearing at that time? Pumps, I guess.
Pumps.
Yeah, those were the days. But yeah, I think my thing was like KDCs with my little friends. That's what we used to wear
I love
at
that.
that time. And then as time went, then the taste sort of changed.
changed,
But
yeah.
like that was literally the base of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me about now when you transition from being a young girl to teenage years, high school.
Yeah.
Very formative years for everyone, right? Do you get deeper into style? Like, do people start noticing that, like, you actually have style? Or, like, talk to me about, like, high school, Enhle in high school.
I think obviously in school you did not get the opportunity to show it much because you guys are in uniform.
Of course.
But then you get that one time CVs. I'm there.
Of course.
Yeah, so during CVs, I'd say I'd put it on, but I think maybe people did not understand it, perhaps. I don't remember receiving like crazy hype as to, my gosh, like this is the fit of all fits. But I still felt like, oh, I have it on, but I
got it
don't
on.
think it was gaining that much traction then. Maybe people were into the stuff that they were into and probably did not understand the way I was dressing at the time. So I wouldn't say it was a whole hoo-ha. People wanted to see what I'm going to wear. None of that. But I still would believe that even then I still had it. But when I look back at some of the pictures, I'm just like, whoa, what was this? But
Yeah.
it was those eras, but Taylor again, the time when people were wearing Converse,
Yeah.
with the long socks.
Yeah,
Okay, that has
yeah.
never been my thing, but it's just...
It's that era.
I was always current, but I always had like my own little thing.
Aesthetic.
Yeah.
Okay, dope. The end of high school, what was your perspective on career paths? Like, did you know that you could actually make money from being fly? Was that even a thing, like, that you could grasp? Or were you like, you know what, I'm actually just gonna go and work 9 to 5?
So that's actually an interesting question. I was actually like, I'm gonna go work. I was so set. I'm like, this is what I'm gonna study. I studied logistics management at
Dope.
UJ. That's what I wanted to do. I got there, I did it, I finished, I graduated. So obviously I was still fly or whatnot, but like I was just literally focused on school. I thought I'd be happy just doing that. And then fast forward, first job, first day, and like I went there. I remember it was like the 2nd of January, half day, and then we knocked off around 1.
2nd of Jan.
Imagine.
Nigga.
I think in their defense, they did it so that obviously it's my first day. I shouldn't be there for too long. So it was like a half day. But I remember going back home and I was just like so emotional. And my dad is like, what's wrong? I'm just like, I don't like it there that much. I don't think I do. And he was like, okay. If you don't want to go back there, I can just go and hand in your things and say, this person's not coming back.
not coming
But
back.
I just still wanted to, I'm not a quitter, so I'm like, let me see this through. So as I was working, I felt like, okay, I didn't like the job much. So I just felt like I needed something just to kind of make myself feel happy and just hold on to the things that I like or that make me me.
Yeah.
And then I just figured, okay, it's not going to be enough just doing the 9 to 5, because I thought I'd be happy just going to work every day and then month end you're getting your salary, you buy yourself all the flight things.
And
yeah,
you're good.
Granted, but I just felt like, okay, in order for me to actually maybe keep doing this thing as in like work, I just thought maybe let me further my little passions, let me get into this thing, let me look, how can I make something out of this thing that I have, because I know I have this passion for drip or whatnot. So I think for me, that was like the turning point. I'm like, okay, I don't think I can survive just doing this particular thing. Maybe I just need to feed that little girl in me that likes clothes or that's a bit of a creative. And yeah, so that's how for me, then I started to look at it differently and started to think, okay, what can I do or how can I place myself, in order to sort of do what I do now, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how you're working this job,
Yeah.
but you still have this desire, right, that you need to feed and water. So what were the first steps that you started taking? Was it just fit pics or like?
I feel like then it was a bit of a different
era
than now, not the TikTok era. This is like before, So what I did at first, I got an agency. I'm like, okay, I want a model.
Okay.
Got an agency, did the whole thing. We did like the casting, we did the pictures, I had a portfolio and whatnot. And then I just learned that, okay, with an agency, you'll just sit, hey? You'll have an agency, but like you can just couple of months, several months, nothing is happening because you're waiting for these people to call you for something they think
you'd fit.
Yeah. So that was that, and then I saw that actually agency is not okay. It does help. I'm not shooting down anybody who has one still, but I'm like, okay, now we're moving to Instagram. That's where everything is. So I just thought, okay, I had a few photographer friends and would take would shoot, have like a little concept, location, fit, and then I started tagging like
Brands.
the brands that I wanted to work with, or like rather the brand that I was wearing at the time, just to create a little bit more hype around myself, because I thought maybe, okay, if this modeling thingy under the agency, having a portfolio, is not working, maybe let me make my Instagram sort of like my portfolio, so that when you go on my Instagram, you can actually see what this person's trying to do, whether it be modeling, fashion. Yeah, so that's how first steps that I took in order to like kind of place myself or create a bit of hype around myself,
around
so
your
to
name.
speak. Yeah.
Okay. When is the first time a brand comes? Or do you go and knock on the brand's door? How does that happen?
I've never really knocked, if I'm being honest.
Excuse us.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm not saying now people should not. Actually, you should actually like knock on doors, because you can't just wait around and wait for them to knock on your door, rather. But I've never had to, fortunately. But I remember the first, it was with Flying Fish. It was so random. I remember my friend, I contacted her for the same thing. And then I'm like, oh, okay, congratulations. And then they were supposed to go on an onboarding this one day. And just the day before, I get my email. I'm like, okay, was I maybe not a part of the list? Was I left behind? Did somebody maybe pull out? But let's go. Like, we're here now. And then that was the first introduction into the whole
Brand world.
Yes, and yeah, no, it's not as easy as you think.
When that first brand hit you up, did you think, I'm gonna leave my job? Or were you like, nah, I
No.
need to still be doing my 9 to 5 while I'm doing all of this other stuff?
I still have a 9 to 5 till this day.
Till this day.
Yeah, I
Dope,
feel like maybe
dope.
it's just back then, obviously the first check and whatnot, I could see that this does not compare to what I get every month, you know what I mean? And in order to survive and to pay my bills and whatnot, I just figured I can do both.
I love that, because I do feel like we're living in an era right now where kids don't want to go to school, kids don't want to get degrees, kids just want to be TikTok stars or popping on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, as someone who actually makes money from being fly, you can't actually have like what can I say? Can you actually live off of brand work and just being fly every day? Is that a real reality?
I've heard it is, but it's not my reality.
Because I don't think we should, we should be very careful, because kids are watching,
They are.
right?
Yeah.
And they're like, I want to go and do that.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not going to go to school. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be fly every day and brands are going to hit me up.
Yeah.
But majority of content creators, like, you need something else, right?
I'd like to think so.
From your
From my
perspective,
perspective,
yeah.
yeah. Because I know certain people who just started doing this thing and it popped off. You know what I mean? And for me, it was not that easy. It wasn't a thing where like, oh, I started taking pictures and now like a month later, brands are hitting me up. It was actually like quite a process, like fine-tuning my style, like getting what I want to post and just understanding how I want to market myself. So for me, it was never overnight. So I wouldn't necessarily advise somebody to now not go to school or not have like I guess like something to fall back on. But at the same time, I can't, if the thing is too, if
Like,
this thing is burning inside of
the
you,
desire.
the desire is burning you and you feel like, I don't want to do anything else, I can't knock you for feeling the way you do, because maybe, just maybe, I could be further if my time was more focused on maybe content creation. You understand what I mean? Because now I'm trying to balance, do this, do that. But if I had like my Monday to Monday and I'm
It's
just
all
doing this
focused
thing,
on this.
probably I could be further. So I guess you never know. So I wouldn't say either. I just feel like just do what works for you. I'm not going to say now leave it and focus on this thing if you're not going to be as big as the next person and you're not getting the checks that the person is getting. So how will you survive?
How will you survive?
Yeah, I just feel like you just need to weigh your options. If it's coming at a consistent basis, that maybe you feel like, okay, I can survive off of this thing, then yeah, sure. But like if you feel like looking at your expenses and you see that this thing is not consistent enough for me to live off of it, which is me, I still do both up
I get
until
you.
I can actually say, okay, it's time, I can leave this and be comfortable in this particular thing.
I
'Cause
get that.
I do like nice things.
Of course,
I
we all
need
do.
to. I need to.
I
You
need
know what
that.
I mean? Like I can't not spoil myself or just live as comfortably as I want to because I'm doing this one thing. If it's not working the way it should, you need to put your eggs in other baskets, see what you can do. But
Yeah.
I'd say both. I wouldn't say do
One
what
way.
I'm doing. Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say one way. I just feel like you just need to find the thing that works for you.
And then just balance it.
Yeah, try to balance.
Tricky, tricky,
Try
but
to
such is
balance.
life, right?
It
Such
is, it
life.
is. So as I'm saying, I don't think anybody can juggle maybe as well as I do it, or you know what I mean? Because sometimes I feel like I'd have to shoot something. For example, I have a deadline and I have to shoot this thing during the week, but I know I have to go to work. So that would mean me getting up maybe like an hour and a half early, doing my makeup before work, then going to work, spanning,
then
come back, change. You know what I mean? So
I get you.
It's not easy. It's not for everybody. It requires like, I mean, who doesn't want to sleep? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it requires maybe balancing and seeing. I can't just show up. I'm not like other people. So I need to just schedule things right so I can make it there on time, submit on time, still be present at my job,
Yeah.
still respecting that because it is the job that pays me end of the day. So yeah.
I love that because I felt like we just need to tell the kids the truth,
The real
right?
truth.
Because the kids obviously they see 10 people who are super successful at anything and then think that, oh, everyone can just jump in here and be a success. And it's actually not true.
Yeah.
Only like the top 1% or 10% of any industry are the people who are actually making like a living off of this thing.
True.
You know what I mean? So I like that you talk about balance. When does styling for you, like styling other human beings
Okay.
besides yourself, like when does that happen?
That's actually something that's more recent. I'd say it was 2021 or 2.
Because you were styling Gamo, right?
Yes, and then
Dope.
how that happened was, that was like my first gig, I'm not gonna lie. I had no practice prior to that. It was just something I was thrown into because my friend was actually styling Gamu at the
Okay.
time and she was actually designing something. She's a designer. So, and then they needed somebody to help them out with the day-to-day, just like cute little looks. Without having to now take out a sewing machine and make a look from scratch. So that was how I was
Got it, yeah.
introduced to the thing. And then I'm like, okay, sure, let's try it, you know? Let's do it. Yeah, I
Was that fun? Did you enjoy that?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I'd say it is, for me it was fun in that I got to live out some of like my fit dreams through her. Like certain things that I feel like maybe are too bad for me or too sexy for me, that's how I dress her and then she'll pull it off. But I just feel like here in Mzansi, finding clothes is not as easy.
Like sourcing clothes from
Yeah,
different
no,
brands.
it's not that easy. I feel like people want to look like baddies, but so where do we get the stuff? I need to have maybe a friend who's a designer or maybe people who have customs. I know there are places where you can source, of course, but I'm just saying there's not a lot of variety. Like, where am I going to go? To the mall?
I get you.
You know what I mean? I just felt that it had me running around and I just did not think it was worth it for me at the time. It could be something I could still pick up in the future.
Okay.
But at that time, I was just like spread thin in terms of my job, content creation, styling also. I just found that I could not be I mean, it's not easy to give 100% of yourself
To
to all these
everything,
things.
yeah.
Yes, that's granted, we're all human. But at that time, I felt like I was spread so thin. And I take it so hard on myself, rather, when I can't perform or just give you what it is that you want. So I felt like I was not giving it as much
100.
time. Like, yeah, I know I can't give 100, but like at least like a young 80, you
80,
know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
it just got to that. I just felt like it was just more stressful than it was fun for me. I'm like, okay, let me just put this aside just a little bit. And I just wanted to focus on myself, because at that time I was doing the brand thing, but it wasn't really like taking off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, maybe if I put more into myself and myself as a brand, let's see how it's gonna go. So I think I just let that go for a bit just to focus on myself, and I don't regret it because it ended up working out just fine.
I
And
get
at least
you.
I got the introduction to know that, okay, if I do go back, I know exactly what I'm getting myself into. Because styling a person of that magnitude, like superstar, I've never styled anybody before, so there are quite a few things that I had to learn on the spot.
Okay.
So I think now going back, it would be a more informed decision. Yeah, so I guess we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see with
Okay.
that.
I want to ask you a question. It might not be fair, right? And you might not even have the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay.
Do you think it's easier for female stylists to style men and women than it is for a male stylist to style women? I think female stylists are better at styling men than male stylists are at styling women.
Women. Okay, no.
What do you think?
I 100%
Because you
agree.
can wear what I wear,
Exactly.
but I can't wear what you wear.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I can, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
It wouldn't land so well.
No, it wouldn't land. They'd be like, dog, what's going on?
Yeah, I feel you're 100% right. I feel like it's easier for a female to style men because
Men.
we do tend to dabble in menswear. Like I also sometimes, you'd find me in like almost like a menswear inspired type of fit, so it wouldn't be as difficult to tap into, like styling men, unlike men having to style women, the cut,
It's a lot.
it's a lot. And I feel like also, and I'm gonna be biased, but men don't necessarily know what looks good on us. From the outside, yes, you can say, oh, that's actually cute, but as a female, I'll critique maybe and say, I don't like how this is sitting, because obviously now I'm taking into account my body and how I wanna look.
Yeah.
Whereas that might be like a oversight for you. You just maybe fixated on the look and the items and everything, but not so much as to whether I look hot or not. Because I'm a girl, I still want to look hot. You know what I mean?
And be comfortable.
Yes. So I just think actually it's better, well, in my opinion,
course.
to style, like it's easier for women to style men.
Men.
And women, and like men
Styling, yeah, the other way.
Yeah,
right?
no, you'll never quite understand my body the way I do, and what I like and what I don't like. And I think certain things maybe are more visible to the female eye because we just know, man. Like,
And the attention to detail.
yes,
yeah,
like
you
little
guys pay
things.
attention.
I'm just
yeah.
like, So, yeah.
I get that. How did you learn to price what you do with brands, right? Because a lot of people, they don't know. It's like, am I being underpaid? Am I being overpaid? Am I asking for too much?
Yeah.
Like, did you have people that you asked? Like, how did you figure out what to charge brands?
I think for me, the first advice that I got from somebody was like, okay, think about the operational costs, the things that need to go at the back end for this thing for you to submit and whatnot. Obviously, if maybe they're looking for a reel and I need to get somebody to shoot that, and if I should take into account that person's cut. You understand what I mean? Because I don't want to have to pay
yes.
somebody and then that leaves me with zero. Then that defeats the whole purpose. Not unless I'm trying to get exposed, of which that doesn't pay the bills. But yeah, firstly, that's one. You need to take into account rather the expenses at the back end, and then as well as you can ask, hey. Like we all know, not all, but like we know each other. I can always like, if we're cool like that, I've slid into a couple of DMs
And
I asked.
people actually respond.
Yeah, they do. I mean, that's what we'd have to be. Maybe I wouldn't just sugela somebody I've never spoke to a day in my life. But if we've been following each other for quite some time, and I've seen you, we've shared some jokes. Ha ha ha. We comment on each other's things. Yeah, I've DM people. I'm like, okay, how much do you charge for approximately? And then they'll give me a figure. Maybe ask a few people, of which have maybe the same following, because obviously then you position yourself. I can't charge like a person who has 1 million followers, you know what I mean? But then you ask, and then you sort of get your figure. But I feel like it never really goes away. You feeling like maybe sometimes you are undercharging, because I've sent like a rate card before, and they paid me maybe 3 times that. I'm just like, whoa. Okay.
I was undercharging.
You know?
Yeah.
But then you get brands that are like, okay, no, the budget is tight, you know, and okay, you know, you kind of negotiate your rate and see, okay, how can we make this beneficial for both you and I? Because I can give you what you want. Obviously, me delivering the content is not a problem, it's not an issue. It will come out the way, but obviously it has to be beneficial for me, having walked away with at least something for my trouble. I mean, yeah. So I guess it's still a thing. I don't think I'd ever say, yeah, this is the rate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I look at my rate card, I'm like, maybe let me increase now with that tower or 2. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the same time, then if you submit that to a brand, like, no, this is too high. Like, am I overcharging? I guess that never really goes away, but it is nice when somebody's willing to pay your worth or even more.
More.
They're like, girl, what are you doing? This amount, no, we can level you up, you know? Take it up a notch, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because a lot of people in your space, especially up and coming, right? They can't reach out to people, like, because you have a name, right? On the Instagram streets. And you've built a network of people that you can reach out to. So a lot of kids who like get into the space, they're like, I have no idea. Like, I can't Google this.
You cannot.
I can't Google the number that I need to, but it makes sense. It's a hit and miss.
You can always ask, hey, if they don't reply, there's always a next person. I mean, somebody's bound to respond.
Say something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's not that deep. Just need to, if you don't know something, you can ask. Like you said, it's not something you can Google. You know what I mean? So you just need to, it's like word of mouth. Let's go. And then you just find, okay, where can I place myself? And then you just rock.
I get you. 2025, right? What's your perspective on the fashion scene in South Africa as someone who's fly every day? Like, what do you think? Are you happy with like the output of brands? Like, what's your perspective on what's going on in the fashion scene in South Africa?
I'd say there's like a rise of like the local brands, you know. It's quite a bit of them. Some of them have been around for quite some time, but there's a lot more right now, and I'm not too mad at it. I guess, you know, we're trying to, what can I say, just keep up with the trends and just, but at the same time, I feel like we still have a long way to go.
Of course.
I feel, for the most part, the things that I really like, can't really find them in stores, you know what I mean? Just need to tap into that other market still. So I think it is on the rise, but there's still a lot more we could do, or I just
we'll get there.
I think it's a matter of now I'm gonna speak to like maybe like younger kids, you know. Obviously, they see all these brands on TV, their favorite celebrities and whatnot. I think also it's a matter of affordability for most people, because I know like with local brands, you guys don't produce masses, so obviously the price tends to be a little, you know. I just feel like there's that. I just feel like there's not really much to cater for people who are not like bagged up like that. You know, not everybody has
The coins.
700 rands to spend on just one t-shirt, where you can just walk into some retailer and get like a whole fit. You understand what I mean? I just think maybe we can still, I don't know, find a better way to. And obviously, I can't take it away and say, because obviously there's operational costs at the back ends that have nothing to do with that. I understand there's the cost of making the thing, keeping
Because
the lights
like
on.
we can't manufacture in South Africa. I mean we can, but like the quality.
I
is
get
like,
that.
you
I
get
just
me?
think maybe the reason why the presence is not so, you don't see every Tom, Dick, and Harry wearing the brands is because actually it's not that affordable.
I get that.
It's not.
Yeah, it's really
It's not. It requires like a high school kid. Maybe they save nabo allowance. They say they want this type of T-shirt, and that happens. But it's not like. I don't think it's priced for everybody. For people to actually wear it, and you see it in masses, maybe in townships or whatever.
Wherever,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. I love that. As we wind down on this conversation, right? I need you to give us your last piece of advice, right?
Okay.
For a kid who's like, you know what? I'm fly every day.
Yeah.
And I want to figure out if I'm gonna go and be a model, a designer,
Yeah.
but something in this space of clothes,
Yeah.
right? But they're scared. They're like, I don't know if I can go and do this. What's your last piece of advice to that person?
Hey, that's good energy first. First things first. That's the one thing. I had a friend who told me this back in the day. I was like, oh, I'm shy. She's like, that's shy energy. You need to let that go, because you need to be able to step in and just like talk your shit. Even if this is not the best thing, but you need to rep your brand first. So how are you gonna walk in if you're already like scared? You know what I mean? You need to, like, yeah, that energy must go. You must walk in like you are it, because people will then maybe reciprocate that energy. You understand what I mean? And also, I'd say at that time, like I said, when I started, things were a bit different. Instagram was still Instagram. That was before TikTok. But with everything now, with social media, I think it's actually much easier. With TikTok, you just do your daily fits, your get ready with me's. It's easy for something to actually go viral.
Viral, yeah.
It's easy for you to overnight like gain a huge following. And I feel like once you have a following, you can actually then, because if people buy into you, let's say you have 30 people following you, these people love whatever your style or just whatever you have presented to them. But now to actually sell them something, or maybe like you're starting to design, people will literally follow you. They'll follow anything that you do. They'll follow anything that you attach your name to, because they like you. People buy into you first, and then whatever it is that you have to bring to the table, it's attached to you. So automatically that will flow. But I just feel like you need to be specific also about what you're trying to do. If you're gonna do it via social media and you wanna do your fit pics because you wanna work with brands, if I open your TikTok or your Instagram, I should be able to see that this person is a fashion person. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sharp, you can post selfies, whatever, but I'm just saying it must be specific to what you're trying to do. Therefore, the people that are looking are very clear that, okay, if I have a campaign running for winter, they know to call this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think, if you want to be a fashion content creator, now you're posting skincare routines, make it make sense, you know what I mean? So you kind of attract what you put out. If you want to be skin caring and all these things, then you need to, maybe put out that type of content to attract that type of market. And then, what else would be my advice?
Go to school.
Oh, okay, that part.
Go to school.
But also collaborate. I've seen like it's easier for people to just collaborate and maybe gain more traction together as opposed to just like alone. I think that also helps. And don't be scared to put your work out there. I feel like that also happens with me. I'm very critical of myself first, more than anybody else. I'll just like look at the picture a couple of times, like, is this fit ain't hitting? You know what I mean? So I feel like sometimes we get so wrapped up in the perfection part of it that we sit things out. We're like comfortable there by the bench because you're waiting for things to be perfect. Just start.
Okay.
Just start, and then you'll get better with time. You know what I mean? Because at that time when I started, I thought, okay, this is it. But looking back, I'm like, this is not it. So there's always room for improvement. So I just feel like, however you feel like, okay, I don't have this, I don't have that, make it work within your means. You don't have a camera, use your phone. You know what I mean? Like
Make a way.
Don't chase perfection. Just rock.
I love
just
that.
rock. You'll get there.
I love
and then you
that.
make it better as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I love that. Before we end this, favorite sneaker right now in your rotation? What is it? Is it the Pumas? It's okay.
Yes, I'd say.
Yeah, you can say it. It's fine, dog.
I wouldn't say any specific Puma. Actually, guys, the Puma people are succeeding hectically, and I think that's what my recent rotation has
been,
quite a lot
okay.
of Pumas. So I think that's like my everyday. I wouldn't necessarily say a specific one. It depends on the fit. But I think, Puma's doing the things. I used
Shout
to be
out
a
to
Nike
Puma.
girl.
Yeah.
I used to be a Nike girl. I would not wear any other brand.
Besides Nike.
Nothing. But I guess as time went, you see that now it's Puma, your Addy, they're on the rise. It's about the flat shoe and not the bubble like it was. So I still am a Nike girl. I still wear my 97s and whatnot. But I guess right now, where
With
we
Puma
are in
right
this
now.
fashion thing, wearing the Speed Cat and whatnot. So I guess that's what I wear the most, I'd say.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Yay!
You were super nervous before. How do you feel now?
I feel fine. I'm just looking at you. I'm like, until fella.
Yo, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back with another episode of Dead Radio.